Hello beautiful soul friends! Welcome to my channel, Hannah DeVaux. Thank you so much for tuning in and for allowing me into your magnificent experience today. So in this vlog we're going to discuss dreams, out-of-body experiences, and the dream realm. When you think about the bigger picture, we're all hallucinating our entire life experience. And the collective hallucinations that we agree upon are what we call reality. When you're awake, you're tuned into a certain frequency of reality, the waking state. And when you fall asleep, you tune into another frequency of reality, the dream state. You can imagine yourself like a radio receiver. When you tune the dial to a specific frequency, you change the information being received by the radio, or in this case, your brain. But because of the fact that we can't fully conceptualize the existence of the dream realm, we tend to believe it's fabricated. So when you're asleep, your consciousness is perceiving another dimension of existence, one where the laws of physics are much different from the ones in this third dimensional realm. Reality in the dream realm is much more fluid than in the waking realm, and time and space are non-existent. And this is why you can have what feels like a 2-hour dream experience and then wake up and realize you've only been asleep for like 20 minutes. These separate dimensions exist within one another and are frequently bleeding into each other. So that's why some people experience things like prophetic dreams or other paranormal events such as seeing ghosts. They're simply experiencing the brief collision between these two dimensions. People tend to believe that dreaming and astral projection are two separate phenomena, but this couldn't be further from the truth. They're actually one and the same. Truth is, you astral project every single night when you go to sleep. But these out-of-body experiences are usually unconscious and forgotten upon awakening. However, there are certain exercises you can incorporate into your daily life that will help you become more conscious in the dream realm so that you can remember these experiences or even become fully lucid in your sleep state. Let's discuss some of these techniques. The first and probably most effective exercise is regularly journaling your experiences in the non-physical realm. Dream journaling is critical in helping your brain identify key patterns that can assist you in recognizing when you're in the dream state. You would essentially keep a journal next to your bed and then immediately upon awakening, write down whatever it is that you can remember from your OBE. For those of you that have a hard time remembering, you may only recall 1 or 2 words, and that's totally fine. The more you do this, the more you'll begin to remember, and soon enough, you'll be filling out pages upon pages for just one dream experience. So I actually still have my first dream journal. I started dream journaling back in like 2014. I initially was using a composition notebook, and this is chicken scratch because I just woke up, so my hand is not used to like writing. It's still very tired from being asleep. So I've actually found that using my phone is so much easier. These ones are from this year. See, I've gotten to where I can fill out just like paragraphs because I remember my dreams in so much detail now. For a little while it was only like a few sentences, you know, when I first started out, and then as you can see in my composition notebook, it's just like pages upon pages of journal entries. I picked it up pretty quickly, so I'm sure that you will too if you just, you know, maintain your practice. I have so many pages in here from all of the different kinds of dreams that I've had, and I've gotten to where I just journal them out on my phone. I even have some in here from 2018. Let's look and see. Look at this. So I have this dream journal from 2018. See, some of them are small. I only have like a couple of sentences in here, and then some of them are much longer. You know, they're like paragraphs on paragraphs of dreams. I just find it so much easier to write it out in my phone. So do what works for you, you know what I mean? You may prefer a journal, a physical journal where you're writing out your dreams, and that's cool. You may prefer your phone, you may prefer your laptop, your computer, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is to just write down your dreams so that you can look for patterns in these dream journal entries. Dream journals also allow your mind to interpret certain symbols or recurring themes that can help you better understand situations in your waking life. The unconscious state allows for total ego dissolution so that your subconscious can speak to you directly. The next exercise I'm going to talk about is called reality checking. Doing a reality check means taking a small action such as pinching yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, or looking at your hands multiple times a day while asking yourself, am I dreaming? Now this may sound like a silly technique, but in my personal lucid dreaming experience, I've found reality checks to be a great method in waking up my mind while my body remains asleep. The purpose is to conduct the action so much throughout the day that it becomes a habit, and thus you're more likely to do it in your sleep. If you are in the dream realm, something about this action will be different. You may look at your hands and realize that you only have 3 fingers instead of 5, or you might pinch yourself and not feel any pain. The use of dream journals in combination with the reality checks is most effective for becoming conscious whilst out of body. You can identify patterns of certain dream symbols and then do the reality checks when you see that specific symbol in the waking state. So for example, you may find that you see your pet repeatedly in your dreams. This means that every time you come into contact with your pet in real life, you would conduct a reality check. Connecting a symbol with the action will make it more likely that you'll trigger an experience in your dream where you unconsciously do the reality check. So I'll go ahead and share a personal experience of mine because it may help you understand this a little bit better. When I first got into lucid dreaming and all of that stuff, I had established my reality check, which was pinching the bottom of my thumb right here on my hand. And I was doing this frequently. I was doing it multiple times a day, asking myself, am I dreaming, pinching myself, looking at my hands. So one night I went to sleep and I had a very bizarre dream. I was in this like abandoned house. I remember it was like really dark wood and it was really old, and I was walking down this staircase. And I remember the stepmother from Tangled. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. I'll put a picture right here. She was there too, and she ended up pushing me down the stairs, and I remember rolling down the stairs, and right before I hit the floor, I appeared right back at the top of the stairs. So it was really weird. So after that, I look around, she's not there anymore. I start walking down the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, there's this little living room area and there's a fireplace. So I finally make it to the bottom of the stairs and I'm looking at the fireplace, and all of a sudden, I just ask myself, am I dreaming? And I look at my hands and they're flipped like this. So my right hand is my left and my left hand is my right. And I pinched my skin and it was like silly putty, like my skin like stretched. It was like, it was so weird. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I like became lucid and I got so excited in my dream, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna test this. Let me see a dog. And I turn around and sure enough, there's this like black and white spotted dog. It kind of looked like a Dalmatian mix of some sort, and something was calling me into the next room. So I was still lucid as this was happening, and I'm like walking into the next room and I'm about to open the door and I start to feel the whole room shaking. And I don't know if like I got so excited that it woke me up or what, but I was super excited. I'm pretty sure my excitement woke me up. So that's a tip for you guys. If this is something that you're interested in doing, be careful about getting too excited because that'll wake you up from your astral projection experiences and your lucid dreaming experiences. They're all really the same thing at the end of the day. But I don't know if I got super excited or what. That's what I'm thinking happened. But the room started shaking around me and then I woke up. So it was very, very bizarre, very strange. I've had multiple experiences similar to that afterward, but that was like the most notable one because it was my first lucid dreaming experience. But the reality checking does work, and dream journaling works also, because I was also regularly journaling my dreams at the time. I still have it in this notebook right next to me. I still have that dream journaled out from years and years ago. So it does work, I promise. I've also found that practicing being in the present moment has really helped me become conscious whilst out of body as well, because that's really all it is. Lucid dreaming, being aware while you're in your astral body, is simply just bringing your consciousness into the moment. And that's something that we struggle with even while we're awake. You know, we're so caught up in our own BS in our heads that we're just like along for the ride, you know, and before you know it, you're looking back and you're like, whoa, that memory really just slipped me by. And it's the same thing in your dream state. Before you know it, you're awake and you're like, holy crap, you know, that went by super fast. So I think actively trying to maintain a state of presence is really, really important for becoming conscious while you're out of your body and maintaining that consciousness while you're out of body. And being conscious while out of body is super duper cool because you can do all of these things. Like manifestation is 100 million times faster than it is in the physical realm. I mean, you have instant manifestation in the dream realm. You think of something and it's right there, you know, so you can do pretty much everything you want. You're not bound to the laws of physics like you are here in the third dimensional realm. So you can fly, you can go to different planets, You can go anywhere in the world, you can meet anybody you'd like, you can hang out with celebrities, you can hang out with your crush, you know what I mean? So it's really awesome to become conscious while you're in the astral state, because of the amazing things that you can do. And those are just some of the things that you can do. One thing that I've found to be super helpful in my own astral projection experiences and my own experiences with becoming conscious while out of body is helping my manifestations, because it's primarily a visualization practice. So if you can go into the dream realm and physically visualize and build up whatever it is that you're trying to bring about in the physical realm, it makes it so much easier for your mind and your imagination to perceive it while you're in the third dimensional realm, especially for those of you who struggle with maybe your imagination or you struggle with visualization. This might be something that really helps you with your manifestation techniques. Now, in terms of leaving your body while you're still awake, the only way you can really do that is to get into a state of sleep paralysis. And I know people freak out when they hear sleep paralysis, but the thing that's going to hold you back the most is your fears. So that's going to be the first thing you want to get over before you really try to leave your body from a waking state. So the point is to trick your brain into thinking your body's asleep so that it taps into that higher dimensional realm that I was talking about earlier. Because what happens is when your body falls asleep, your brain's like, oop, let's switch to the dream realm, and then you switch, and then that's why people have those hallucinations. They experience voices. I've had some very, very strange sleep paralysis experiences. There was one time that I heard crawling on my floor. It was so creepy, but I swear I was laying there and I heard and it was like, it sounded like it was all around my bed, like, oops. It sounded like it was all around my bed. It was just absolutely nerve-wracking. I was so scared because this is like one of the first times I was inducing sleep paralysis. But the fear is the biggest thing you're gonna have to overcome if you want to induce sleep paralysis, because you can have some freaky experiences, I will say, but if you are fearful, then you're more likely to manifest an experience that matches that vibration of fear. So it's super duper important to remain calm and to reassure yourself that you're safe, you're okay, nothing can harm you, and that you're protected. But I've actually had some very, very strange experiences in terms of astral projection. I've always found that I never float out of my body. I always roll out of my body or sit up out of my body and walk, like get up out of my body. It's so weird because people will talk about how they float up to their ceiling, but that's never happened to me. I've never ever had that experience. I've always rolled out of my body onto the floor, or I sit up out of my body, and I always think I'm awake. I've actually had so many astral projection experiences in this current apartment that I'm living in because it was built in 1914. So this used to be a school. They turned it into this little vintage apartment. But one thing that I've noticed is I've had so many out-of-body experiences, like conscious out-of-body experiences while I'm here. So it's just been really, really strange. One example I'll give you is one time I was taking a nap on my couch and I rolled out of my body. And I get up because I thought I rolled off the couch, like I thought I had woken up, and I noticed that there's a door right in the middle of my kitchen, and it was so strange. It was like literally just a random doorway in the middle of my kitchen, and this praying mantis walks out of it, like this giant praying mantis, and he starts talking to me, and you know, I didn't really get like a bad vibe from him. I didn't really get a good vibe either. It was just kind of like neutral, and he's telling me all of this stuff that I don't remember. And it was just very, very strange. And I don't really remember much after that. I think I had woken up. But I do remember very clearly that I spoke to a giant praying mantis, which was super freaking weird. Later on, my boyfriend and I are leaving the apartment and we're gonna go run some errands. And lo and behold, I see a tiny praying mantis outside in the parking lot. So that was like just absolutely, that was just insane. Okay, so it gets even crazier. So later on, maybe like about a week later, I'm browsing through Reddit, and I'm subscribed to a lot of paranormal subreddits and, you know, consciousness subreddits, because, you know, that's my thing, right? And one of the things that I had seen on there, like a post that somebody had made, was somebody had an encounter with a extraterrestrial that they described as being a giant praying mantis. I ended up doing more research, and apparently there's this whole race of mantis beings that people come into contact with, and there's like tons of experiences. You can read about them online. And I just thought it was so crazy because I'm assuming that's who I ran into. That's who came out of that doorway in my kitchen during that experience. So it was just very, very strange. I've had a lot of really weird experiences in this particular apartment while astral projecting. One really common method of getting out of your body, and I've tried this method a few times and it's actually worked for me. 1 or 2 times, but it doesn't work every time I do it. One thing that I've noticed that people tend to frequently talk about is the rope method. The first thing you do is get your body into sleep paralysis, and this takes anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, maybe longer, depending on your experience and depending on the time it takes for your body to relax. But once you're in sleep paralysis, you're basically going to visualize an imaginary rope hanging over your body. And you're gonna visualize your hands grabbing this rope, not actually moving your hands, but trying to see your astral hands grabbing the rope and making it as real as possible, essentially. So you're gonna feel the seesaw, feeling the tension as you pull on it, and you basically just climb the rope up out of your body. And I've done this, but like I said, I don't float up out of my body. I've only sat up out of my body. Like, it's enough to pull me up to the point where I'm sitting. But it may work for you, it may not. There's tons of different practices out there to get you from a waking state into the astral realm without going to sleep at all. So you may want to do your own research. I highly encourage you to do your own research. That's something I always encourage on my channel. You know, have your own experience. What works for me isn't always going to work for you guys, so I highly recommend that you do your own research, look into the different techniques that are available for astral projection, out-of-body experiences, lucid dreaming, because there are a ton out there. I really think that every single person should be practicing becoming conscious while out of body, because this is such a great outlet, especially for those of you who are creatives like myself. You know, this is a great way to have premonitions. This is a great way to create and then bring those creations into the physical realm. I can't tell you how many magnificent art pieces I've done, paintings, content that I've created that have stemmed from my experiences out of body. I highly encourage you guys to try this at home. It's really, really fun. It's awesome. You sometimes will have some scary experiences because, you know, that's just life, and that's okay. Don't let your negative experiences deter you from the good and the positive. Like I said, nothing can hurt you. You know, there's a lot of misconceptions about this. Don't buy into them. There's a lot of fear, a lot of fear mongering that's put out there intentionally to keep people from doing this, because there's a group of people out there, guys, that don't want us to discover this superpower. So they intentionally put out misinformation on purpose as a means of deterring the collective from trying these things. But I seriously recommend it. It's really, really fun once you kind of get over that fear. And once you realize that nothing can hurt you and you're completely and totally safe and protected, you're 100% safe and protected. So I do recommend that you try this at home and that you have the most fun while doing it. But that is the conclusion of this vlog. Please leave a comment down below letting me know about your experiences in the non-physical realm and what you do to become conscious while out of body. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye.